Let's talk a little bit about Scorpio and the sensing of energy, how important that is. Because what happens, right, is that as Scorpios, it's really about shared values, finding the common value, letting go of old values, allowing and making space for new values. And what is a value? So a value is very simple. It's anything we are willing to act to gain and keep. So that's a value. But what happens here for Scorpio is that we're supposed to take action, be self-disciplined. We're supposed to be self-disciplined on our way to what we want, which is the things we're willing to act to gain and keep, correct? But the virtues of Scorpio are different than the virtues of, let's say, Taurus, where Taurus has to build using a strategy, a process grounded in the season that we're in. Scorpio has to make changes, has to combine energies with a higher power or a partner. The combining of these energies is what allows Scorpio to get revitalized, to get nourished. So the nourishment for Scorpio really comes from the engagement in partnership. But Scorpios are prone to ruts, right? And why is that, Jay? Why are Scorpios so prone to getting into a rut? And the energy gets stagnant and we feel weighed down and oppressed by it. Well, what happens, and people don't understand this, I think, because Scorpio is such an intense sign, and it can often go beyond intensity to an extreme. And what we want to do is we want to avoid the extremes, but Scorpio really seeks comfort, largely above all. Now, if you're like me and you have your moon in a fire sign, then you're not going to be so driven on a security level for money. But if you're a Scorpio, who has their moon in Taurus or their moon in Capricorn, money's going to be an even bigger part of your life, right? Because you need that material security, that routine, that groundedness in the physical world that can only come from the accumulation of material goods that you're actually going to utilize. So not wasteful accumulation, but a productive accumulation of things that make you feel comfortable. But as Scorpios, we're really not allowed to get bogged down there. It's actually the opposite of what vitalizes us is accumulating too much, carrying around too much. Now, it doesn't mean we cannot have the material comfort that we seek. It just means that we cannot put that first. But yet we desire the material things, the accumulation, the money, because of the security that it provides and the comfort that we receive as a result of that. Comfort can be Scorpio's biggest enemy. The reason for this is because the second we get comfortable, we slip into that rut. And like I said before, the energy for us is in pushing ourselves beyond our self-limitations. And how we do that is by connecting with a partner, by connecting with a soulmate, either on a friendship level or especially on a relationship level, right? And then working together to accomplish common goals, shared values. So that's what we do. We get really excited as Scorpios. We're like, okay, we both want to accomplish, let's say, building this great business. And the business could be a private investigator office, right? We both love mysteries, and we're both going to open up a private investigator office because we really value cracking mysteries and helping people uncover the truth. So let's say that we found common ground there. So we get really excited. But the thing we want is the money too that comes from this. So We're like, well, if we don't have any clients and we don't work on these cases, then we're not going to make any money. So we open up our business and we start getting clients, but then instead of focusing on empowering my partner to use her amazing investigative skills or his amazing investigative skills for friends, right? I then say, you know, you got to leave me alone. I got to get this work done. So what happens then? What happens when I've now prioritized my process over my partner? Energy starts to decrease because it was about the partnership. Now, if the partner stopped caring about the values, then we've lost a common interest, and that can be a problem too, right? That can be another reason we're now losing energy. Maybe we have to investigate the partner's motives, but we're not doing that because we're not tuned into the partner, we're tuned into the process. The process is focus on the evidence, gather evidence, present the evidence to clients, get new clients, make more money, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? So what we do then is we've just now made process the most important thing. And now we're saying that we have to do it all because our partner is not totally in the game, but they're not totally in the game because our job as Scorpios is to empower them to make our lives easier. They get to use their skills as a private investigator. We get to share with them our knowledge of how to do it. They get to do it their way. But you see, here's where we go wrong is we get so caught up in process, we also lose energy because we go, I want you to do it my way. This is how I would do it. I want you to do it that way so we can reach our goal. Once again, we prioritize goal over partnership, goal over soulmate level connection. We made our lives harder, Scorpio. We keep making our lives harder by getting into a place where we go, okay, I've had this routine for 10 days of where I wake up and I do this thing, but sometimes we've been doing something for 10 straight days and now the energy dips, or maybe we've been doing it for 6 months and all of a sudden the energy starts to go down. It's the routine that once was transformative and vitalizing now becomes oppressive. We're in a different season. And this is a clue. This is a key. The key is that forces outside of us, right? The partner, a higher power, a power symbol, are alchemically joining with us and helping us overcome our self-limitation. Where you're going wrong is that you're trying to manipulate the force the second you come in contact with it. So this is very, very difficult. And this is high-level stuff that I'm sharing with you because you need to know how to tap into being a Scorpio. Even if you have any planets in Scorpio, your Venus, you need to know how to operate in that social sphere because Venus is a passive attractive force, but it'll also be the mystique that people are drawn to you about, that scorpionic sort of aura about you, because Venus puts off that sort of attractive impulse. I mean, that sort of attractive magnetic pulse, and it draws people to you for the thing that Venus represents, or the manner in which Venus is operating in your chart, which is shown by the sign of Scorpio, if it's in Scorpio. So let's just say you have any of these planets, right? Mars in Scorpio, one of the natural rulers of Scorpio, along with Pluto. Let's say Mars is there. Mars is the planet of focused, directed, motivated action. And so we're taking action to get the things that we want, the things that Venus is trying to attract. Mars is trying to take action that allows for that thing to be achieved. So the virtuous moral action as dictated by Mars. So as you can see, if you have any planet, Moon, Sun, any of these, Jupiter, you want to pay attention to what I'm saying here. Because, and don't get me wrong, it's going to change, like I just illustrated. There's a difference between needing to take action and having to draw things to you from a scorpionic level. Both things are, so the planet's modifying how we're using the sign, rather. So the sign tells us how we use the planetary energy, but whatever planetary energy it is, obviously will dictate what it is that we're using in a scorpionic way. It's like a different tool These planets are kind of like tools, and it's like we're using that in a scorpionic manner. So I'm getting kind of sidetracked, but it's important that you understand when you're listening to this video that the scorpionic ways in which you operate have largely have a lot to do rather with energy. And the energy is lost when you focus too much on process. Okay. So that's what happened is we got so focused on the comfort that we wanted to achieve, we got stuck in a process. When we got focused on the process, we also wanted our partners and stuff to do it our way, the hard way, right? So the hard way is Scorpio wants to do it any way that they can. I want to do it my way. This is mine. This is the way that I accomplish it. So therefore, that's the way you should accomplish it. This is where we go wrong. Now, you may be like a very high level Scorpion, and the places in which you exhibit this type of behavior may be smaller than some other Scorpions who exhibit this behavior quite a bit, right? When I say high level, I mean you're working through the different virtues of the sign. And some of us are more virtuous in different areas of Scorpio than others. Like I'm talking about basically one specific area, and that is in the understanding of what heightens and lowers your energy, especially in relation to partnership and process and your values. That's it. That's what we're talking about. Because I want to drill home today the fact that process itself is a distraction from the partner who is the person who's helping bring you all the things you want in an easier fashion. So they present you with values that you might not have thought of that make your job 10 times easier, but you're not tuned in. You're stuck on how you're going to do it. And then when you feel that energy dip, you're not realizing that all you have to do is turn to the partner who's the source of power, who's the source of vitality, right? As long as their motives are good, right? We have to use our scorpionic powers to investigate our partner's motives. Are they good? Are they bad? Does the person I'm talking to right now have my best interest at heart? Is there a reciprocity between us? Meaning I give and then I receive, and then I give and then I receive. Reciprocity. Not I give, and no reception. Or I take, nothing else. As Scorpios, a lot of times we give because we're uncomfortable on the receiving end. And that's, getting outside the scope of the video. But the point is that energy level up and energy level down have to be monitored at all times. We have to be disciplined. So it's like, we have to have a plan of action to go and reach our goal. But that plan of action must include the things that vitalize us, that charge us up, that bring us to where we want to go. It's not just people. It's like nature redirects us. The seasons redirect us. As Scorpios, every time we're paying attention to what the weather's doing, what the energy's like today. Are we getting lots of phone calls and interruptions to our day-to-day routine? Maybe it's a sign that we're not being disciplined enough on our goals. Maybe we're upset that we're being interrupted and we're not listening to the fact that all these interruptions are upsetting us and we're getting away from our true values and we're staying in the comfort zone of interacting with everybody. Or maybe not interacting with everybody, maybe the people trying to interact rather have something of value to offer, which is why we always have to be using our scorpionic investigative abilities. The investigation is to investigate the motives of, the values of. So when people want to invest time and energy into us as Scorpios, we start to get vitalized. We start to get energized. That's kind of sometimes all it takes to really flip the switch, and we're off to the races. What tends to happen, though, is that we want to accomplish our goals. And our goals often take precedence over the very things that are helping to make our lives a lot easier. Obviously, Scorpio, you have the gift of empowering others. You are the healing, regenerative source by coming into your friends' lives and your lovers' lives and your family's lives and telling them, you got this, you can do this, I see a way, and then giving them the information on how they can do it, but in their own way. Meaning you lose energy when you say, here's how I would do it. What you need to say is, here's what I know about getting it done, and here's how we can apply it to your specific way. Like I said, if you have your moon in Capricorn, you need to have a certain level of material goods and a more practical and economical approach to your goal setting. You're not going to give that person a program that's based on your moon in Aries because you're a Scorpio with a moon in Aries. You're not going to tell them to act more and more so on their impulses and become more individualized when they're supposed to be a manager of people. Somebody who works on goals and then finds mutual goals that they can work on with others for the accomplishment of long-range plans towards a positive future. And Aries is supposed to get impulsive, inspire others with their ideas, and then leave the bricklaying to everybody else. As a Scorpio, sometimes we forget that it's like, that's their way and that's fine. I can tell them what I know. So it's maybe they want to build a business and maybe I have to tell them how to do it their way, meaning their moon's in Capricorn. They have to set goals and reach those goals on a day-to-day basis, where an Aries has to get in touch with their identity, their individualism. They have to realize what ideas are inspiring them and then act on them very impulsively, run that sprint really quick, get them into motion, and then get other people there to start laying the bricks as the leader of the project. Where Capricorn's a different kind of leader. They lead by accomplishing the goals and helping others accomplish their goals, dealing not on the emotional side, but having the empathy for where other people are at and helping them achieve. So as Scorpios, when we look and analyze what other people's motives are and we say, what's going on to you? And they say, it's really important to me that, I reach my goals. And if you're talking to somebody with an Aries moon, it's like, it's really important to me, that I get these ideas out there. It's like, okay, well, now we kind of know what's really important to them. Aside from the shared value that we have of building the business, let's say, or getting money together or making an investment. And if the energy's there and we empower them, they tend to reciprocate and reward us. So what we do is we go, okay, based on your desire to reach goals in the future, here's what I know about accomplishing those goals in relation to your business. Here's what skill sets I see in you. And then they can't have accomplished that without our empowerment, without us going, you have these skills. Here's the knowledge that I used. Here's how you can apply it to your own thing because I paid attention. That makes our life easier because they go and accomplish goals and then we get some of the treasure, right? We often think we won't sometimes. That's a different story, but like we get a share in that Plutonian gold that comes off the back of the empowerment of the other. And so we need to pay real attention to our energy levels throughout the day. We have to build that into our process. We have to understand these key concepts. These basic little things. I get energy from higher powers. I get energy from nature. I get energy from connecting with other forces outside myself, investigating those things. Those things basically just carry me through. When I think I need to do it all myself, I need to have the whole process laid out. I need to stick to the same routine every day. Now I've created a routine that's not good for my long-term success because I'm not using my skills as a Scorpio to investigate other people's motives, to connect based on shared values, and to allow them to take off some of my burden. And then I'm also not analyzing when the relationship's not feeling good, when I should pull back, when I should stop giving so much, when I should learn to receive, when I should, double down on my work efforts and become more intense about my process, and when I should pull that back, when I should rest and recuperate, versus when I should go all in. Constant change has to be built into a Scorpionic routine. And then the rest of the birth chart, the rest of the natal chart, plus the transits eventually, once we kind of have that understanding, have to be built in on top of that so we can take advantage of the timing of the now. And we can also learn to win as Scorpios. This is really what it's about. We have to accomplish our values by being virtuous, taking the action that gets us the value, not leaning in on our vices. We learned today that the vices of Scorpio are comfort and getting stuck in ruts and not listening to energies and staying too focused on the process and the goals and prioritizing those over the people who are uniting with us and getting us to that next level. And so the virtues that we learned today are tuning into partners, investigating what they want, figuring out their motives. What is it that do they actually have our best interest at heart? Do they actually want to reciprocate and make an investment to me? Are they actually grateful for all the energy that I'm pouring in to the point where they're going to remember this and reward me also down the line because there's a nice exchange? Do I believe in their values by helping them accomplish theirs? Do I also accomplish mine? Is there a common value beyond the base values? Like the Capricorn moon valued reaching their goals. Let's say I had an Aries moon, I value my ideas and following my impulses. Now, we don't have a commonality there, but our commonality is we both want this business to succeed so we can make money and make further investments together and level up our skills. I want to get my ideas out there and they want to reach their goals, which are based on this common value of making money and providing a great service. So you see here that the way we're doing it is different, and that's part of the virtuous process of Scorpio. And I want you all to understand this concept. And then as we start to add in layer after layer of the birth chart, you'll start to see how that only enhances your life by keeping that Scorpio sun at the core, or by using that Scorpio Venus to enhance your destiny wherever it lies in the chart, or your spiritual mission, or your foundation. Any of these things can all be enhanced by getting the virtues of Scorpio right and staying away from what bogs our energy down, what brings us down to that low point. And we tend to stay there too long, and I want to help you overcome that. So like, share, subscribe to this channel rather, share this video. All right, I'll talk to you soon.